bring the train to a stop. So let's go onto the outside. Let's see what we're looking at here, folks. This is a pretty nice engine, honestly. It almost looks like an actual model. And I will say something really cool. The mirrors are actually reflective and they do work. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Train Sim World. As it says right above me here, we are actually playing the 2020 version of Train Sim World, coming right to you starting now. All right, folks. So when you join Train Sim 2020, you will end up with the issue of trying to connect to Dovetail Live, and you can't do that. It won't let you. I've just proven to you right there that it will basically say it's lost connection. So we're going to skip this, get out of that screen. We're going to go to the main screen. So I actually have a different profile that I would try to make sure it worked. As you can see, my profile there. What we're going to do is we're going to switch profiles. First off, we're going to get away from this wonderful koi profile, and we're going to go into a different profile. New profile. Yes, same dude again. We don't really have options, to be honest with you. Quite frankly, we really don't have options. And once you pick somebody, you're kind of just stuck with them. You know what I mean? All we got are these folks here, and that's about it. I'm just going to go with maybe a neutral outfit. Not true. We're actually going to go with the U.S. freight engineer outfit because why? We're going to be driving freight today. Now, once you kind of pull this up, you start with this screen. You don't really get to see a lot of things. It already says East Coast Way because I got that DLC, but we're going to backtrack a bit and go to the main screen. On the main screen, we're going to search for, yes, you got it, Sand Patch Grade is the one we're going to first. Notice I have Next York also on here, so keep that in mind. That's going to come down the line. For now, we're going to go to CX Heavy Haul, and what we're looking for is we're actually going to start with training first because there's a specific mission I want to get into. Surprisingly, I somehow missed this one on the other version. I don't know why, but whatever. We're going to the GP40-2 introduction. Supposedly supposed to take 5 minutes, so let's get right into this and let's see what we got. All right, the GP40-2 introduction. What is the GP40? Where did it come from? I believe they're going to start with the usual introduction of what this is, and then we go from that point forward.
First off, walk over to the locomotive as indicated.
Yes, we're going to walk over to that little icon. How exciting. Yes, where are we? We're actually sitting. Why are they even putting an introduction demo right here? That's just dangerous. Right on the main track of all places. There's actually no trains on this track anyway, so like there's nothing here. So I guess it's kind of safe. We could call this free roam. But yes, we are currently going to be driving the GP40-2. Don't worry about track safety. There's nobody here. You can even see it here, GP40-2. And you already got an engineer inside staring at me. He's like, get up in the train and hurry up, man. There's actually a couple cool things about the GP40 I gotta say. First things first, we're gonna climb up the stairs.
Open the cab door and proceed inside.
One thing we want to figure out, is this particular engine the most forbidden locomotive? Let's just go inside the cab door, folks. And obviously we can't see a lot here because it's actually darker than you would think. So we're gonna just go ahead and step in that little panel there.
To take control, you'll want the engineer's seat. Head over and sit down.
Let's go ahead and sit right in the seat there. Why can't I sit in the seat? There we go. Got it.
Safety always comes first on the railroad. So to start with, we need to let those around us know this locomotive is operational. Begin by turning the forward headlights control to bright.
Now, I would have disagreed with that, but given the track that we're on, it would make sense to put this on bright. But yeah, you got to keep in mind, I love the difference in the icon. This actually shows you whether or not the speed's going up or down. That's actually really convenient for me. I don't much care for this version of the HUD. It's a little wonky just because it's a little hard to read everything compared to the normal HUD that we see. Let's go ahead and turn on that headlight to bright, like you said.
There are 3 key controls to operating this locomotive: the reverser, brakes, and throttle. The reverser determines direction of travel. Put this into forward.
Now, if anybody happens to drive the GP40 for any possible reason in Train Sim World 2020, it actually doesn't say anything about taking the reverser in or out because you actually can't take it in or out. This actually came later where they decided to install that as a separate component to the DLC. One of the other things they didn't say is they didn't say just turn on the backlight. You would think you kind of need the backlight, but it's weird because the backlights are set currently on bright. For that sake, look at the headlights. Look at how much different the headlights are in Train Sim World 2020. So much better. So much better. It looks real now, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and put that reverser to forward.
Now add some power, but not too much. Too much power too soon can damage both the locomotive and the cars. Always start off nice and slowly. Increase the throttle lever by 1 notch.
All right, we're going to put up the throttle by 1 notch like it said, so let's go ahead and do that. Notch 1.
We're about to move, so make 2 blasts of the horn to alert anyone around. Remember, safety first.
It's interesting. Honestly, it's interesting. They don't tell me anything about the brakes. They don't tell me anything about these things here. They don't even tell me anything about the cab light. I can't even turn on the cab lights, or I would have done that for you guys by now. Let's just blow the horn.
To the left is the auto brake, which applies brakes along the entire length of the train. Let's move this to relief.
I still never understood why they did this, why they don't describe the independent brake when you're driving a single engine, then describe the auto brake when you're doing multiple engines. Go ahead and put this back to, what is it, release? That's what we're looking for. Really hard to see this on the screen here. You can kind of see that already happening, and it's just really hard to tell the brake pipe pressure and the equalizer pressure. Insanely hard, but you can see some of the stuff. You can see the alerter there that's already on. You can see the grade at least. You can see, I don't know what exactly this means, but whatever, we're going to be moving forward. I don't know how fast they really want me to go. Let's just see what the itinerary says. The itinerary looks a little oddball too. Basically says put the thing to idle, set automatic brakes in initial reduction, and then bring the train to a stop. So let's go on to the outside. Let's see what we're looking at here, folks. This is a pretty nice engine, honestly. It almost looks like an actual model, and I will say something really cool. The mirrors are actually reflective, and they do work. Like if you get them in the right angle, you actually see the reflection, but you can actually move the mirrors themselves. I can't do it in this demo, but whatever, we're gonna worry about that later. But yeah, you can see how nice that's actually reflecting. Why couldn't it have done this in the regular game? I just don't know, folks. One of the questions we need to figure out as we go into the GP40 is this really the forbidden locomotive that DTG says?
You're moving. Brake work. To maintain a constant speed, move the throttle back to its idle position.
Let's go ahead and go in the cab and do that, and we'll put this right back into idle, and then it's going to tell me to stop the train.
That concludes the basic engineer training on this locomotive. So let's bring it to a stop. Move the auto brake to initial reduction. As with applying power, too much brake pressure applied too quickly can be detrimental to the train and its cargo.
All right, let's go ahead and put that automatic brake and initial reduction and let us slow down nice and easy. We'll just kind of see this from the outside there, and we'll have to find a way to snap a good photo because you can't really get a good picture otherwise, right?
That was great work. You've just completed your first lesson operating the GP40-2. There's always more that can be discovered though. As engineers, we'll never stop honing our skill.
Congratulations, you finished the GP40-2 despite what it just said. This only took me about 6 minutes. In fact, it took me about the same amount of time to load up the mission that it did to actually play the mission. Just insane how long it took. But yeah, that was actually kind of fun. So as we go, there's 3 scenarios. There is the sandpath, sunrise, forming steel, and power line. And we're going to go through all 3 of these in the GP40. I wish I could do this in Train Sim World 5, but for now, the GP40s are technically not allowed to play in it. Up next will be the sandpath sunrise for this particular scenario set for the GP40-2. And with that, of course, like, subscribe, leave me comments, and I would appreciate your feedback of whether or not you think the GP40s are actually a forbidden locomotive. We'll be kind of getting into some of that going into the next episode and whatnot. From there, let's go right into it, and we'll see you in the next one, folks. Bye.